is going really, really good for you. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be talking about Mariah Carey. And her relationship with Tommy Mottola and some other things that have happened in her past. I remember when I was younger, I heard about this and how Mariah Carey always felt very trapped in a relationship with Tommy Mottola. I never knew any details. Let me turn the light down a little bit. Yeah, I never knew any details. So I thought, why not dive in to Mariah's past? Okay, here we go. So, Mariah Carey became, I'm gonna start with her older sister because apparently with her older sister it was not a good relationship, so she became estranged from her older sister, whose name is Allison, very early on in life. She wrote a memoir, and in it she described that Allison would offer her drugs multiple times, including giving her a Valium pill. When she was 12, within minutes, she says, I think I was in a very heavy, scary darkness pushed down into a place beneath sleep, and I couldn't pull myself out. She said that Allison tried to sell her out to a pimp, and that her sister's then boyfriend, John, who took Carey to a drive-in movie alone, almost immediately put his arm around her. And John pushed her in closer, or pulled her in closer, and forced a kiss on her that made her so nauseous and scared, and she felt immobilized. A man noticed them, so John left. Mariah described another incident around the same time when she was on the phone with her father and tried to give the phone to Allison, who then threw hot tea on Mariah. She passed out and woke up in the hospital with third-degree burns on her back. It took years, she said, before I could accept a simple pat on the back. She said that was the last straw with her sister, whom she now calls her ex-sister. Her arson was deliberate, and she burned my back and my trust. So now we are getting into the future a little bit when she met Tommy Mottola. So in 1988, when Mariah Carey was 18 years old, and she had really big dreams, and an unnamed demo tape that was slipped to Tommy Mottola, who was then the head of Columbia Records, when he was at a party. Tommy Mottola, who's a Bronx native, is a former singer and song pitcher who went on to manage Hall & Oates through superstardom before joining future Sony acquisition CBS Records. He helped guide Sony into the record business and eventually took over the worldwide chairmanship of the company, which sold 8 billion records and earned $65 billion in his 15 years at the head of the company. As the head of the company, Michael Jackson and Mariah Carey were just the beginning of the list. The roster also included Bruce Springsteen, Destiny's imagine was Mariah Carey was texting and calling Derek to keep in contact. She said, I enrolled my assistant. We'd stage an errand and leave in the car, and I would talk to Derek. Sometimes we would go to her house, and I would sit in her modest little living room and talk to him in a whisper. I was afraid of Tommy. Eventually, she and Derek got a rooftop date, which inspired her song, The Roof. She then convinced Tommy, with the help of her therapist, to allow her to take a trip to Puerto Rico, where she heard Derek was vacationing